Warning: the following content that you're about to consume is going to be incredibly inflammatory. Now, today, I have a little something in mind, but before I get to that, this is a warning. There's a very strong chance we are about to get very upset with each other. Now, the statements we make, we may not believe. However, we would like to assure you, listeners, that these are our opinions. We know each other personally, and we're doing this to mess with each other for laughs. But everything else is opinions. We don't believe it to be fact. But opinions, like noses. Everybody's got one. With that said,
Welcome, everyone, to Far Side of the Pod. I'm Jordan. We got Ridge.
What's shaking, y'all?
We got Caleb.
Hi.
And we got Mikey.
hello.
And we got Kelsey with us today as well.
Hi.
Today, like Mikey said, it's going to get pretty heated towards the latter end of the episode, but just to start off with how we normally start off on the episodes, we're going to catch up with some college football since we wasn't here last week. We had, Kelsey was in town, so we had some family stuff to do, real life shit. But this is start. We got to go back to last week because we got to shout out our dog Ridge and the Florida Gators for beating Ole Miss.
Oh, I was thinking, why you gotta shout me out for? I didn't do nothing.
Because that's your team, dog.
But I didn't play. You made it sound like I played.
Well, yeah, you did in spirit, brother. Like that's what drives them people.
In spirit,
I,
brother.
I can guarantee you I didn't even watch the game because my blood pressure would have been through the roof.
But still, your team won, and they
Yep.
did they win this week?
Oh, yeah, we won.
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
It was like, I think that I could be wrong, so don't hate me too much. It was like 32-11 or something like that.
Okay.
And
Well, cool,
all
man.
I can say is fuck Norvell.
Well, all right
That
then.
that is a I'm I'm just going to take a wild guess. He is a bitch made boy. Uh,
A bitch made boy.
because it happens in every big rival at the end of the year where your team will plant their flag into the ground.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I understand people wanting to fight, sure. I mean, it don't make a whole lot of sense whenever they couldn't fight on the field, so why fight in general with us when we plant our flag? It don't make no fucking sense, but they play football, not make sense, so there's that. Uh, but Mike Norvell was the one to go pull the flag out of the ground, which, okay.
Was this yesterday?
Yeah, this was yesterday. He pulled
Okay.
the flag out of the ground. And then after that, meanwhile, Billy Napier's in the middle of this fight that's breaking out between both teams trying to break it up. Meanwhile, Norvell's too worried about a damn flag that wasn't even in the ground at the time, taking it and throwing it off to the side. And then after that, Billy Napier tries to go shake his hand, and he can't even shake his own Billy Napier's hand.
What a bitch.
That is a bitch move. You mad because you sat here and lost how many games and then you lose to Florida? What do you expect?
Right. And for
You just
them
made Billy look like your damn daddy's what you just did.
for them to do something like that when they've how many games did they win this season? One.
Two.
Still.
They won two. Ain't neither one of the games been no big upsets neither. It'd be different if they've won big upsets games. We'd probably, you know, give them a little bit of credit, not a lot, but they've only won two games. Ain't a damn one of them been against anybody credible. He has no room to sit here and act like a fucking pussy ass bitch made boy, if you will, and get so ass hurt he can't shake the hand of the other coach, and instead want to focus on throwing out a flag that we implanted in their ground because we beat them fair and fucking square.
It's dude. It's kind of like I don't know if you saw the fight that happened between not Mississippi, but Michigan and Ohio State after the game.
Yep.
Michigan ran to plant the flag in the center of the field, and literally Ohio State players are grabbing it and try to rip the flag, and
They didn't even get the flag planted in the ground in that game.
no, it was
And not to
wild.
mention the North Carolina team, wherever they got mad because NC State beat them.
Hmm.
To me, and if you lose, especially an in-state rival game at the end of the year, and you're the home team and the away team beats you, they have every right to bury their flag
Right, I agree.
in the center. I mean, I think that should just be a
It's
normal
tradition.
thing.
I feel like it's tradition.
Even then, Napier said that it was embarrassing. Okay, sure, whatever you say, Napier. You haven't made a lot of great decisions yourself, neither. So I'll go ahead and give you that one. Sure, why not? That wasn't right. It was embarrassing. Whatever the fuck you want to say it.
So what'd y'all end up
But
with? 7 wins?
that put us at 7 wins and hopefully another one for a bowl game.
Yeah. I mean, hey, at least the season ended up better than what we initially thought it would be.
Oh yeah, it ended a whole lot better than what we was originally expecting it to. So
So, I mean, at least that.
I'm getting props where they belong, but it's going to take to me. It's going to take a lot to get me 100% just
Back on the horse.
back on horse and back full fledged confidence
Right.
because this is the same record that we had last year,
Hmm.
and I don't understand why we're losing our shit over a 7 win season. Now, take it, I get it. We weren't supposed to be doing, or we didn't think it was going to do us good.
Mm-mm.
So I guess I understand the little bit of excitement here, and that we knocked off 2 top 25 teams now. But other than that, we're still sitting at 7, hopefully 8 wins. Hopefully, we can improve into next year. If we can, if he gets us an offensive coordinator, I might feel a little bit more comfortable.
Word. Well, just to quickly, cap off the football side of this, Tennessee played Vandy yesterday, and I will say they had us at first. They had me at first, brother.
That, that had us in the first half, not gonna lie.
But like, I mean,
More like first
my
quarter.
my initial reaction to it was like, what the fuck is going on? Like why is this happening to us? Then it's just like because we couldn't get shit going for the first little bit after that whole shit went down, and it's just like, man, to be honest, now that I think about it, we must have been caught so off guard. Like first of all, the opening kickoff run back, then the knocked out fumble, and Dylan Sampson. Even if he wasn't down, if he was down, it doesn't make really much of a difference. But the only difference it would have made, they would have had one less touchdown. But either way, Nico locked the fuck in, and even though we were down Squirrel and Brew by the end of the game because Brew didn't play, we came out on top. Nico played a hell of a game. Vanderbilt, I'll give props to him, and I kept having to tell people is like, this isn't like the normal, this is Vandy, like we always say every year. No, this was Vanderbilt who, put up they put up a 500 season, but, at least, they're better than they have been in a long time. And they got a quarterback who, even if he gets another year of eligibility or not, he's fantastic for the program. But
Hendrick plays it with the program.
What?
If he stays with the program, that's the thing.
Yeah, if he wins his
Anytime,
lawsuit,
anytime Vanderbilt gets somebody good, automatically a bunch of other teams are ready to pay him.
hmm well, I think he was in community college for like 2 years. Then he went and played somewhere else for 2 years. Now he's been here for Vanderbilt for 1 year, and he's trying to fight with the NCAA over a lawsuit and trying to get 2 more years of eligibility. And that would make him a 7 year senior. But I was talking to a couple of like Caleb and them over there yesterday about it, and I was like, Lord knows, I feel like it's gonna get to the point where they're just gonna be like, you can have 1 more year, take it or leave it. If you don't agree with it, we're not gonna give you shit.
I was about to say they'll settle it. You know they will.
Well, that's what I meant by settle. Like they'd be like, look, we can meet in the middle and give you 1 more year.
You know, if he wanted another year that bad, why not just say if you're going to stay and get your doctorate?
Well, I think he's he's wanting to play. Like he's meaning like eligibility to play, not just college.
So, like, he should already be out of eligibility, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
this should be his last season. He's just trying to get 2 more seasons
Gotcha. Okay.
because the lawsuit's pretty much stating that he believes that people who come from JUCO, like normally JUCO's only 2 years, so that
Right.
he's trying to fight for people who come out of JUCO to be able to have those 2 years of eligibility stacked on top of if they sign with a big team out of JUCO, so they can have more time to shine and show who they are as a player.
Gotcha.
Right. But um, the only really things that happened this week that was pretty big was Syracuse beat Miami, so that knocks Miami out of it, and well, hopefully it does. And also Michigan beat Ohio State, so that doesn't knock Ohio State out of it, but it definitely knocks them down below us, or at least in the AP it knocked them down below us. But
That puts them also into question of if they're going to keep Ryan Day or not.
mm-hmm.
That'll be the big talking point that everybody has.
Right. But that was pretty much it for college football this week. I mean, I'm excited to see where they put us in the playoffs. I'm hoping we get a home game because that'd be big for us, and there's a possibility we get our rematch against Georgia at some point. And if we do, I hope it's somehow in Neyland. So, but yeah, that's it for college football this week. All right, now just a quick little recap of Survivor Series last night. So the first match we had the women's War Games, which was Rhea Ripley, Bianca, Naomi, um, Io Sky, and Bailey versus Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. It was a really good match. Rhea showed out, even though she had the whole broken orbital bone. She like came out in this really crazy like demon mask instead of like a typical black mask or clear mask. So that was pretty cool. But she took it off in the like in the middle of the match. So I guess she pretty much says she's healed or whatever, or she's good enough to fight without it.
It
But
had B for B on it too, blood for blood.
yeah, and
Thought that was pretty cool.
she hit a riptide from the corner through the table to end the match. It was a really good match. I give it a solid 4 stars out of the 5 stars. I thought it was pretty good. Tiffany Stratton and Io Sky shared a spot where Io did the typical moonsault with the trash can over, and Tiffany did the swanton that she normally does. Um, the next match was LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke being back with a more darker persona, coming out with a very like samurai-esque type vibe. But it's good to see Shinsuke, get a belt on him again. Shinsuke is somebody who I believe has been underutilized in the WWE since he's been brought here, except for NXT. But ever since Shinsuke lost at Mania to AJ Styles some years ago, and when he like turned heel, I felt like they fucked it up really heavy when they like made him go heel like that. Like if he went heel like he's heel right now, then it would have been different. But I don't know. The way they turned him heel back then didn't sit right with me. So I'm glad to see him back and back to the Shinsuke Nakamura that I know. Um, After that, we got the Gunther. No, never mind. We got the Intercontinental title match between Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser, and that was a solid match. Those three always put on good matches no matter who they're facing. Kaiser is, I still believe, a slept-on wrestler. We all know he's good on the mic, and that's what he really did in Imperium. But I always think he's an underrated wrestler in himself. He's great. They all put on a great match. Breaker showing his speed, Sheamus showing his resiliency. Overall, great match.
Am I the only one that wants to call him Ludwig?
Yeah. No, you're not.
Ludwig.
Ludwig.
Ludwig. Ludwig.
But then after that match, first of all, Shinsuke won the last one. This one, Braun Breaker retained. Then we had the World Heavyweight Championship match between Gunther and Damian Priest, which was a fire match. Damian Priest was injured for like the whole match, and he was still putting on a fantastic show. They went, how they typically go. Any match that Gunther is in, if it's not a squash match, is always, a slobber knocker. So they went really great at it. By the end of it, Finn Balor came out and hit a coup de grace off of the steel steps onto Priest while he was laying on the ground, which gave Gunther the opportunity to drag him in the ring, put him in a sleeper. The end, pretty much.
Can I just say this? I'm super, super tired of Finn Balor messing up Damian Priest. I'm so ready for that to be over with because it's so redundant now.
Now, I can agree with that. They kind of need to move on from it.
They need to move on, big time.
And honestly, if they're going to keep building this up, at least let Finn Balor use the demon against Priest so he can, get a win or something. Like, if you're going to just have Finn win either by interference or, Damian just beat him again, why are we rehashing this? So, I mean, that's my take. I know Finn Balor doesn't want to be known just as the Demon King, but I feel like it's about time we see something to do with the Demon since we haven't seen him since not this Mania, but last year's Mania. And I know that he really brings it out for special occasions, but with the way that they've been going, at least just pull it out one time for the long time.
Whip it out.
That
Show us.
sounds so wrong.
But the main event of the show was the men's war game match. We had the new bloodline, Solo, Jacob Fatu, the Tongans, and Bronson Reed versus the OG bloodline, Roman, Jimmy, Jay, and Sammy, also with CM Punk. I will say the match was fantastic, like War Games typically always is. Jacob, I feel like Jacob was one of the stars of this match. Jacob's always been killing it ever since he's came up. And, there was a part where he, sold an injury. I don't know if he was really injured or not, but if he was really injured at there, he went through the rest of the match pretty great with it. Bronson Reed knew he had he was about to do the tsunami from the top of the cage onto Roman, and CM Punk pulled him out of the way, and he went straight through the fucking table and smashed his face on the fucking mat.
I don't know if y'all saw the replay of that, but it looked like he definitely broke both of his ankles.
Oh yeah, he landed straight on his feet too, boy.
Dude, and you can see him give out from underneath him, fold.
Yeah.
It was nasty. I was like, oh, he had to have broken both of his ankles right there. But also Jimmy apparently at the press conference, Jay said that Jimmy broke his big toe on their Uso splash.
Yeah, Jimmy did a Uso splash from the top of the cage onto Jacob. I guess Jimmy broke his toe on the landing.
Yeah.
But
poor Jimmy.
But the end of the match was everybody got hitting their finisher on Solo, pinning him, and they all walked out gracefully as the bloodline raised their wands in the air and CM Punk hit him with the go to sleep. But that was pretty much the pay-per-view. I give it a solid 4 out of 5 for the whole pay-per-view. You know, honestly, the only other thing is I was low-key thought there was going to be a women's like tag match or something like that, but it honestly probably wouldn't have made sense since Bianca was in there. I don't know. I felt like there was just something missing.
I say, how would they have a women's tag match whenever Jade Cargill's injured?
Right. That's what I said. It doesn't really make sense. But I just felt like there was something missing. Maybe
It
it's
was rushed with a lot of it.
yeah, maybe it's because I initially thought Punk was gonna turn heel and like turn on the Bloodline, and Paul Heyman was gonna go with him. I guess I came in there really thinking that was gonna happen, and a lot of us thought it was gonna happen. But overall, great show. 4 out of 5. Can't wait for Saturday Night Main Event. All right, next up on the list. So, Caleb, Kelsey, I know y'all aren't really going to be in this part of the discussion. I know, Kelsey, you barely, have said anything since been talking. But we said that we would do this when this came out. And now that the people who, have seen it, me, Ridge, and Mikey, give our, official review on the movie, Wicked. You know, Wicked based on the Broadway musical, which the Broadway musical is also based off The Wizard of Oz. This is pretty much the story of Elphaba, the Wicked
Based
Witch,
off
and
the
Glinda.
book.
Yeah, the book, but it follows Elphaba and Glinda, which, if you don't know, it's the Wicked Witch of the West and Glinda, the Good Witch from the Wizard of Oz. But it's pretty much just like a retelling, pretty much like a non-canonical way, but it's also the way that I've heard people on TikTok describe it. It's like Wizard of Oz, the story that they want you to know, and Wicked is the true story. And I love that assumption because that's the way it makes me feel. But Ridge, I'll let you start with your part of the review and what you thought about it.
I absolutely love the movie. It's probably one of the best musicals I've seen ever. In fact, I've seen a good handful of musicals, but that one it took the cake. I mean, beat Into the Woods, it beat Sleeping Beauty, or not Sleeping Beauty, fuck, Beauty and the Beast, it beat Aladdin, it beat every way you could think of any other musicals. It's better than Les Mis, to me at least. Yeah, it was just overall, it was good. It got me emotional. The musical can make me emotional. It's going to be ranked as a good musical. It just there's something about it wherever it can hit you in your feels.
Yeah.
That just it does something to you. So definitely was getting teary eyed in it. Didn't actually cry, surprisingly, but I came close to it a handful of times and cannot wait for the part two of it. Uh, I definitely after that it makes me want anytime something says part two, just give it 3 months and then release part two. Don't have us wait a full fucking year. Not only because I'm ready for it so much, but because you also have people that are older that love it that won't remember what the hell they just watched. That or, make sure that you definitely do a double feature of this for everybody because it definitely needs more than one showing of it.
For sure.
And I'm still going to try to see it at least 2 more times, if not 3.
Word. Mikey, what's yours, brother?
Okay, so y'all, listeners, listen. These are not my kind of movies. I my take. I'm not a sommelier of like cinema. Okay, first and foremost. But musicals or theater-esque movies, are not my shtick. They're not typically something I go and see. Um, this movie, in my opinion, was very good. Um, I feel like it hit all the notes it was trying to. I felt engaged during the whole movie. Um, I know it doesn't sound like I'm saying as much as Ridge, but not trying to use this as an excuse. But if you know me personally, a lot of the times I talk a lot of smack is what I do. I talk a whole lot of shit, and I'm sure there's shit I could talk about the movie, but the problem is I don't want to. It was a good movie. I liked it. So if you know me, I feel like that would speak a lot about the movie itself. I don't think it's better than certain other musicals out there, but it's a select few that I don't think it's better than.
And of course, it's hard to. I mean, when you think of the classics, and I'm not saying I don't. Well, first of all, I'm saying my review is pretty much what Ridge said. I think this is arguably the greatest musical movie I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like Ridge. I've seen a lot of musicals, with my wife being a musical theater person. Um, I will say, I think the thing that surprises me the most about this movie is Ariana Grande. And
That surprised you?
no, well, the more when
What? Okay, let me.
hold on, Ridge. Let me speak this. I
Yeah,
didn't before I knew she was so big on Wicked. Before I knew that she went and saw the original cast perform it in like 2010 or something like that. She said, or oh no, not 2010, when she was 10. That throughout
let's
her,
say
she's been a
she
massive
was
fan.
10.
She's been a massive fan of the musical her whole life pretty much, and you know whenever they first announced her, I was like, oh, like I was kind of excited because I know she's a fantastic singer, but I also didn't know how I would feel about it. But when I watched this, I literally can't think of anyone else that could have been better. Yeah, we had the video of Amanda Seyfried singing it, and she sounded great. And there's a few other actresses who auditioned who would have been pretty good. But knowing Ariana's background and her relationship with Kristen Chenoweth, and her being such a fan of this franchise, and when she got the role, of course she ugly cried, but she also said, "I will take care of her," because she knew exactly how Glinda should have been played. And the fact that Kristen Chenoweth gave her blessing and also told her that she did more than phenomenal, and said that, and the thing that I loved about Ariana Grande in this movie is, and I told this to Mikey earlier, if you just listened to the album and didn't know that Ariana Grande was in it, you couldn't tell that was Ariana Grande. Like if you just listened to it not knowing she was in it. But that's my point, is she took a lot of inspiration from Kristen Chenoweth, of course, and also made it her own. Like she gave the flair and the poppiness of herself in with the character, and it worked out fantastically. She, sung beautifully in it, and that's the main thing about this movie that is so amazing to me, is they performed the songs while they filmed it. Like most other musicals, they'll record it in a booth, like they're recording like regular music, and they'll lip sync over it while it's being filmed. But this movie, they actually sung on the sets of the film, and even when Cynthia Erivo was in that machine swinging her around during the Defying Gravity, she was still singing that shit, and it's like, how can you not be like impressed by that? And it gave the movie such like soul. Of course, it's got its soul being Wicked in like the aura of it, but like them like feeling the rawness of their voice made it so amazing. And the I'll tell you what, the first time I saw it, because we went and watched it second time today. The first time I watched it, I didn't get as emotional as I thought I would. But when I went and watched it today for the second time, especially during the ball dance, and Glinda joins in with her, and seeing Elphaba cry, and Glinda wipe the tear from her cheek and hold her face, man, I teared up big time. Like tears streamed down my face. I was like, man,
Can I say?
it was like, man, that was,
Yep.
it's powerful. and getting to see Adina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth, have a cameo in the movie, and like it's actually during a song, so it's not just oh look there they are. It's like a good second we get to see them. But going back to what I was saying earlier, like Mikey said, there might be some musicals that we can't argue that it couldn't be better than, but my list is very much smaller. Honestly, sitting here thinking about it, I can't think of a musical that I would put over it at this moment. And you know, I could come back to this and maybe tell you because it could partially be recency bias, but it's also thinking about the music and the story and the impact on me that it had. I mean, the only other thing I could put up there with it is Hamilton, but Hamilton was the recording of the stage play. So that's why I'm not really trying to compare it to Hamilton, per se. And maybe Rent is the only other one I could put up there with it. But
Hey,
that's just on a personal level, Ridge. And I'm not saying for real. But like,
listen, if I try to put one up next to it slightly, it's going to be In the Heights.
yeah, In the Heights too. I was getting that. I was getting to that one.
I
You
was
know,
gonna say Dreamgirls.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen Dreamgirls.
Oh, brother, you're missing out. I've never cried harder over a dang musical than that one. Jennifer Hudson absolutely kills it. Jamie Foxx and her and Beyonce and
I
Anita
know it's
Rose. Oh my God, they're just absolutely gorgeous in it.
I know it's fantastic. I just ain't ever
You
brought
gotta you
myself to
gotta.
watch it. And personally, another musical I'd put up there is Rock of Ages, even though it's a jukebox musical and everything, but it is a Broadway musical that was made into a film. But that was just personally. But on a realistic standpoint, I do believe this is up there with The Wizard of Oz, because most people will say The Wizard of Oz is the greatest musical of all time. I'm not saying we would, I'm just saying most people probably would. But I think this is arguably, in a realistic standpoint and from a personal standpoint, the greatest musical movie of all time. I'm excited to see the second part because if you know what happens in the second part, it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh, you think you just about or cried during the first part?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you don't even know, son.
And one last thing I have to say about this I can't watch Wizard of Oz the same anymore. Like, I really can't. Because,
Fuck no.
like from what I told you earlier when I said that somebody said that The Wizard of Oz is like the story they want you to hear and Wicked is the true story, I 100% agree with that. Because it's just like it feels so weird thinking about what happened in The Wizard of Oz, knowing what happened in this movie and knowing who is who and everything.
Well, listen. So, from what I've heard, there was an interview done with I can't think of her name, the woman that originally played the Wicked Witch of the West.
Adina
In
Menzel?
no, the original.
Yeah, Adina Menzel is the original.
No, no, not in Wicked. The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, okay, my bad, my bad, my bad.
Yeah, completely different.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about now.
She did a well, it's not interview, I guess. She was on Mister Rogers' Neighborhood,
Right.
and she said that the Wicked Witch was just misunderstood.
Yeah.
So, I think that's what really inspired the story for Wicked was that her telling her side to the
Yeah.
Wicked Witch.
And I
That's her
think I think
story.
it definitely proves that like what you said it is inspired by that. I honestly I know it's non-canon with Wizard of Oz, but to me it's almost hard not to say it isn't. Like I said, she said the Wicked Witch is misunderstood, and this movie shows that they only call her a Wicked Witch because she won't do the evil that they are asking her to, and
Right.
and she refused, and that's the reason why they called her a Wicked Witch, is to paint her as a
And how
villain.
that works. Yeah.
And even think about it, a couple times through the movie, they talked about that they had to have somebody to blame, and they had to have an enemy. Like when they're talking about the animals, even the wizard said you had to have somebody to hate. Or even when they were showing the flashbacks, or the guy, the goat that Peter Dinklage played, he was talking about they had to have somebody to blame, and they blamed the animals, and that's why they started mistreating the animals.
I'm pissed off at that fucker.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Why'd they have to do that to the goat, bro? Like,
No, I ain't even talking about that. Like, just fuck Dinklage right now, all right?
oh, Dinklage, just in general, okay.
Dinklage himself, he's, you know, I'm not going to get into it. Actually, yeah, I am.
Oh, Lord.
So, his whole fucking thing on pretty much trying to shame people for trying to have small people play something like a fucking munchkin.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then,
Yes, okay,
yeah.
I get where I know what you're talking about now.
So he's the only one that spoke up about this and was mad over it. Right. And that's the reason why originally in Snow White, the movie that's coming out at some point, there's no people playing the
There's,
Seven Dwarfs are actually people instead just computerized faces
and
or CGI characters with human faces, right?
originally wasn't it supposed to be like some actual grown people? Like it was, they wouldn't even like CGI
It was
dwarves.
going to be people that were small, yes,
Oh,
to actually play the characters until Peter Dinklage's having ass got offended by it, decided to pull a fucking Karen over this shit. No offense to Brittany's mother, but sorry, I thought that was funny.
I mean,
No one else.
it is funny, but
I, I'm,
she accepts it.
I'm no, I'm just listening to you talk, Ridge. It's not
No,
out of lack of laughter.
you're good.
I'm just listening to what you
I
have to say.
Right. No, I was waiting for I was waiting for a little chuckle over the nod to Mama T on that shit. Anyways, uh, I mean, I can't think of who else it was that said, it's not a bad thing that small people are getting these roles.
Wee Man said that.
Yeah, Wee Man and somebody else,
Hornswoggle.
the comedian
Oh,
that,
Brad. I know who you're talking about. It's
yeah,
Brad
he
something.
loves the idea even.
I mean, it's
But
smart.
Peter
It makes sense.
Dinklage is the only one that got his Peter hurt over it. So because of him, there was no dwarfs in the. There's no seven dwarfs in uh, Snow White, and also Munchkins aren't Munchkins. Now, take it. I don't know if in something like Wicked they would have even worried about that because even in the musical, on Broadway, you don't have little people playing the Munchkins. It's normal sized people. But you never know.
Well,
But it
you
just,
also got to
it's
look at
that.
look at what happened. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to say this to justify that, but think about all the shit that happened to the little people when they filmed the original Wizard of Oz.
What? It gave them millions of jobs?
Dude, you haven't heard of any of that?
What, of the one that apparently hung himself?
No, 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 no. I'm not talking about that. Dude, they were all forced to stay in this one specific hotel. Like the whole hotel was rented out just for these people, and they were having orgies and crazy ass ragers and shit like that. Like got
Don't sound to me like they was having, like it was on the company's fault that they were having sex. It sounds like something they was doing themselves.
well. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not trying to use that thing as to justify whatever. I'm just saying maybe they.
All I'm saying is fuck Dinklage is happening.
I like
That's all I got.
I like him in Game of Thrones, so I'm not gonna say fuck him, but that's still, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. Fuck him, fuck Game of Thrones. I don't really care for Game of Thrones.
It takes a lot to get into, but
For some people, other people they just get into it because the plot's the tits.
yeah. All right,
Anyways, I digress.
so we are getting into what we promised, the most unhinged segment we've had on this show yet. Mikey, I'm gonna let you take this part over and describe what we are going to do, and make sure everybody understands what's happening. Go ahead, brother.
All right, everyone. Lady, gentlemen, welcome to what I am going to call hot bait. This is kind of a game, but it's not really a game because there are no points. But in this game, we will take turns making a statement about a specific fandom. What we are doing with our statement, these statements are inflammatory and should be inflammatory in nature. Everyone here knows what internet bait is, or rage bait. These statements, as we say them, there will be the speaker and then everyone else. And everyone else has to guess whether or not what the speaker just said is bait or a hot take. And after everyone has guessed, the speaker must say whether or not it was bait or not.
Word.
So, simple rules. We all go basically in a circle however we want. We say our statement that would cause an argument in said fandom. And then we tell each other whether or not we actually believe the shit we just said or if we're lying.
And we can go as many rounds as we want, like just keep going in a circle or whatever. If you don't have another one, we can just pass on. We're just here to have a good time, cutting shit and talking shit about different fandoms and about fandoms that each of us love, really. So, but Mikey, since this was, a lot of your idea, how about you go ahead and start us off, brother?
Okay, so first things first, I'm going to pick a fandom at random, and I'm going to try, of the list I have, I'm going to try to pick a fandom I think we all know something about. And then once I've picked it, I'll tell everyone what it is, and then I'm going to make my statement about it. Fair?
Fair.
All right. Let's see here. Here's an easy one. The fandom we are going to be talking about today. Well, the first fandom we're going to talk about, I'm sorry, is Dragon Ball.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
All of it.
That
All
could
of it.
crush some
You're
toes.
gonna want to be careful of the words you choose here.
No, you're not.
This is
Yeah,
the
one
point of the
more.
game. This is the point of the game, man. Go ahead.
My statement to all of you is the following.
Okay.
Frieza was never wrong.
I feel like that's rage bait. I wholeheartedly feel that. Somebody else. Ridge, what do you think of that?
Uh, Gosh, you know, okay, I'm just gonna stick with the what I think is gonna be smarter to say, and say that that's bait.
Caleb?
The love of all that is holy, that had better be bait.
I hope not.
Kelsey?
Kelsey?
Uh,
Please be
wait,
honest.
wait. Okay. Well, okay, I'm gonna say it's bait. Yeah,
You know,
I'll say it's
the
bait.
main reason why I say it's bait, and I'm gonna say this right now, is look at Dragon Ball Broly or Super Broly. This dude literally wants to get the Dragon Balls so he can grow what, like a quarter inch every year. Like that right there specifically puts me out of that spot. But go ahead, Mikey.
Congratulations, everyone. That was absolutely bait. I'm glad you understand the rules.
Holy
Jordan,
bait.
you're next.
All right. Let's see. Gotta stir up the pot here. Let's think. All right. No, I feel like that's too. We kind of already talked about that. Shit.
Well, no, it's like my idea is we all get to say something about the fandom.
Well, what I was about to say, we just talked about on the last podcast, and I've already said that as a hot take. So, um, okay, I got one. Now, this is specifically for the slasher horror movie fandom, and I'm gonna say this: I believe that Leatherface is the worst slasher icon. I there I don't think he has much besides his brutality, but I think that he is my least liked. I think that he is wholeheartedly the worst out of the majority. All right, what y'all think?
Does anybody specifically want to go first?
No, I think he's being serious.
Oh, that's 100% a hot take.
Ridge?
I'm gonna say it's a hot take.
I am also going to say that Jordan, that's a hot take.
It 1000% is, man. If you know me, I'm not the biggest fan of Leatherface. I mean, I like him in some parts, but I don't think he's good enough to be called a one of the legendary icons. Which, I mean, I guess because how old it is, maybe. But I would put Art the Clown over Leatherface. Just saying. Kelsey, I'll let you go next.
Wait, are we still what
It can
fandom
be
are we in?
about
It could be any fandom.
it can be about it can be a fandom of your choosing or a fandom we've already talked about.
Oh, I was going for a Dragon Ball one. I thought we were still kind of
I
rotating
mean, I
around
mean,
that.
You
I
can
mean
do
that
whatever
was
you
my
want.
intention, but we can do whatever. I'm not going to hold anybody to like you have to do this. It's part of the game. No,
Oh
if you'd
well,
rather pick a different fandom to talk shit about, go ahead.
oh no, I had a good one for the Dragon Ball
Okay.
fandom.
Go ahead.
The Broly movie is overrated. The only thing it's got going for it is the animation.
That better.
That had better be the
That
most baited
that
thing
better
you've
be
ever
Oh,
said
that
in your
takeaway
is
from
damn
so
life.
hell.
good. That's a
That
good
Because
one.
if it's bait, it's fucking working.
Yeah, it better be fucking rage bait, Kelsey. I swear to God.
That's
Because
so
I can give
good.
you at least 5 reasons on a bad day
Yes.
of how great that movie is.
You know what? I'm gonna be the outcast on it and say that was a hot take.
It was definitely rage bait, but I'm
Thank you.
glad that you guys got upset over it.
Thank you.
I didn't
Honestly,
even get to
I
make
think
my
the Broly
guess.
movie. Honestly, I think the Broly movie is probably the better parts of Dragon Ball, even though
Yeah.
like I barely watched it and like I watched it as a kid, but I I think the Broly movie is definitely one of the better movies that they've come out with.
Definitely a better Broly, that's for sure. At least this Broly
Oh
had a
yeah,
point to be pissed off, and not just because
Yeah.
who
Goku was
cried?
crying.
Up, sleep. What a bitch! That was a baby. Now, don't get me wrong. He was strong, but it was such a pussy reason for him to be mad.
Yeah,
It really was.
I was about to say, Kelsey, I literally have two statues. I have a statue of Broly and statue of Gogeta from Broly, and I have an action figure of Goku in blue from Broly. Don't do that to me.
Well, I mean that's the point of the hot take or the
Thank God
hot
it,
bait,
thank
right?
God it was a hot take. I mean a bait, because I would have exploded.
I was about to say that's the whole point of the game, seeing who falls for it and seeing who gets. The whole
Man,
point is seeing who's
y'all had
butt
me
hurt when it's
sweating.
over with. I was laughing. I thought that was such a good one to have. I was like, "Ooh, spicy."
All right, Kelsey, who you pick to go next?
Uh, let's go with Caleb.
Hmm. I'm trying to think of a really good one right now. Hmm. Mainly because I can only talk so much before I can't anymore.
For our listeners, Caleb got chicken bone stuck in his throat over Thanksgiving.
Swore I had one.
We can come back to it if you want.
Yeah, I thought I had one, but I just can't remember what it was.
All right, then, Ridge.
Okay.
Ridge, you go
Just
ahead.
skip me, yeah, because I can't even talk really right now.
All right. So this is two fandoms in one, okay?
Word.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you who the fandoms are, but you'll know because I'm going to say their names in it. All right. Disney has ruined Star Wars, and Disney should not own Star Wars.
Bro, we all know that's a hot take.
Yeah, that's 100% a hot take, and I am
Yeah,
on that.
I'm gonna say that's just your hot take. I
Yeah.
don't even know if that take's very hot, dude.
Well, Ridge,
Well,
we got you on that one, I believe.
Well, Ridge, was it bait or your hot take?
that was a hot take. I think. Well, I think we all know how we feel about where we're at, and
Yeah.
somebody's got to take the blame, and we could sit here and keep on saying, it's Kathleen Kennedy because she was the one that George Lucas pointed to take over. But at the end of the day, if Disney wanted to, they could have pulled the plug on this already,
Yeah.
and they haven't.
Yeah. All right, Mikey, you're back up, brother.
Caleb, do you have one in your mind that you want to go with, or are you
Yeah,
still
I
thinking?
think I've got something.
Okay.
Okay.
So, this is gonna be this is gonna basically cover a genre of fan base.
Okay.
All right.
All fans, all super fans of isekais or return, or reincarnation shows are mentally ready for this. They are mentally unstable.
I feel like that's a hot take.
That's a hot take.
Kelsey.
I barely heard what he said. Can you repeat that?
People, fans of isekais or reincarnation shows are all mentally unstable.
That depends on how mentally unstable we're talking about.
It's
But I'll go
just
with
a
a hot take.
Okay. Rich, what's your take, brethren?
Bro, I don't fucking know. Because I don't know a damn thing about all that shit. My input's pointless on that shit.
Rich says hot take too. We'll just say that because we all said hot take.
Yeah, no, that's 100% bait because I'm a isekai fan through and through. So yeah,
I had a feeling, but I just wanted to be the
that was
outlier.
definitely bait because I know a lot of people will be really. I know a lot of people, especially me as a super fan of certain isekais, would be really fucking pissed to hear that.
Okay. All right, Mikey.
Hey,
Cook us up something else, brother.
cook you up something else, eh? Well, let's see what I can run the hell up here. Really, really gotta kind of, sort of. Well, now there's an idea. Here, I've got one. This may not be the spiciest on the face of the planet, but here goes. Here goes. I'm already laughing. I had a different one run through my head, but Jordan would stomp in here and beat me to death on the spot. Star Wars. Just Star Wars. Star Wars, not counting the sequel trilogy. So I'm talking about the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy.
Okay.
Is too complicated for the story it's trying to tell. I don't care about midichlorian count. I don't care about the indigenous whatever of every thousands of species. The only alien race anybody remembers are Twi'leks because they have hair tendrils and racks. Everything else is kind of pointless. Laser wizards with swords.
You're rage baiting like a motherfucker.
That's rage bait.
Oh yeah.
Because if it's not, whoo! You know how many times I've cried over the Clone Wars?
No, I'm not saying nothing. I'm only saying that it's too complicated.
Oh, yeah. No, I get it. I understand.
Rage.
I'm gonna say that's a bait. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
I heard you. Caleb, did you already answer?
Oh yeah, it's 100% bait, bro.
It is a hot take.
Motherfucker.
Oh, no.
Dude, I
Mikey,
think
Framed as
I
it
don't
is.
want to
It is
insult your
framed
intelligence right
like
now, but
bait.
I'm
It
very
is
close to
framed
feeling
like
you,
bait. I do think Star Wars, in all of its explanation, gets a little too big in certain areas for the story it's trying to tell. Like a lot of the expanded stuff, I feel like confuses a lot of people because it confuses me. I'm like, at what point is any of this really relevant? This started with two dudes. Is all of this just money making schemes? And I feel like the answer is yes.
Bro, you're all fucking wrong.
But yeah,
Yeah, that is
Dude,
so. Did you not read? Did you not read any of the extended universe?
We're not talking. Well, Mikey specifically said he's just talking about the sequel or the trilogy, the
Oh,
prequel trilogy, and the original trilogy. And you are still fucking wrong,
oh
because
yeah.
one, Star Wars I think is one of the easiest fandoms to follow if you just watch the fucking movies.
It's also the most cannibalistic.
If you
But you gotta watch it in a certain order, though.
if you watch it don't watch it in the original timeline, then prequel, then sequel. You got to watch it from prequel, original to sequel. And when I did that with Brittany, who had never watched Star Wars a day in her life, she loved it. Like, she actually loved it, and it wasn't hard to follow. And it shocked me that it wasn't that hard to follow, because even when we switched from Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope, it was just like it was perfectly connected, even though it was made in the 70s compared to the 2000s.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm just saying that it's not that fucking hard to follow.
He's
I
done.
never
You
said
just
it. I
pissed him
never
off.
said it was hard to follow. I said it has too much going on for the story it's trying to tell.
That means you're saying it's hard to follow.
No, it doesn't.
You, you hurt Slater is what he's trying to tell you. Okay,
It's okay.
You
He'll
hurt
come in
him.
here and smother me in his sleep before he
His
goes to
feelings
work
are now
tomorrow.
officially hurt.
You hurt him, and you better make sure that you stay awake for a hot minute tonight.
Now it didn't hurt me as bad as y'all saying it did. It's just it doesn't make that statement just doesn't make sense to me. But
You
that's the
hurt
point
his
of the game.
brain just now, is what he's saying.
His brain has now been officially broken.
Okay. All right. Y'all want to get spicy? I know at least one person in this that's gonna probably get angry about this.
Oh, don't worry. I've got one waiting, loaded in the chamber.
Ezra Miller's Flash is the best live action Flash that we've got. Better than Grant Gustin. And all I'm saying is that if it wasn't for the dumb shit that they had him do in the original cut of the Justice League and the dumb way they animated the Flash, people would recognize him as the best Flash. Live action.
Yeah, that's a hot take, but I so disagree with you.
Yeah, I'm up there with Caleb. If I know that this is a hot take coming from you, but I completely 100% disagree.
Grant Gustin doo-doos all over Ezra Miller all day long.
Bro, if your suit has got you looking like fucking Megamind, don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the difference? Oh, yeah, the budget, because it was a TV show.
Okay, that's why the outfit in Justice League looks way better than any of the Grant Gustin suits he's wore this whole fucking series.
Oh, don't get me wrong. The suit looks good, but Ezra Miller is a shitty Flash.
Not a shitty Flash. Shitty person, yeah, but not a shitty Flash.
No, he's a shitty person and a shitty Flash. His acting, he reminds me of what Tom Holland reminded me of the first time I saw him play Spider-Man. I didn't care for him.
I thought we was trying to get everybody's take before we start ripping ass over each other.
I get really, really defensive over
But no, fuck that shit. We're just going at each other's throats without getting everybody's input.
Man, this is a touchy subject.
George knew how I was going to feel about this. That's
Calm
exactly
the
why
fuck down over it.
That's why Jordan said it. He knew what I was going to say. He knows I can't stand Ezra Miller.
Well, what would y'all would have? What would you would have said before Ridge, before it all blew up?
Oh, I would have definitely told you it was a hot take just because I know you. I definitely know that was a hot take coming from you. I haven't seen both. I haven't seen the movie of The Flash, and I haven't seen the other version of The Flash at all. But just because I know you, I know that was definitely a hot take.
All I'm saying is Grant Gustin ain't had one moment in his whole fucking tenure that was better than the Flash turning back time in the Snyder Cut. Not one scene that he has is better than that scene.
That's on the writing staff.
Don't give a fuck. It's Ezra Miller's Flash.
Huh?
Also,
if I can.
What would you say, Mikey?
I was going to give you my answer, but go ahead.
No, go ahead.
See, that's why we
I know
can't
you.
play this game is because we start getting over.
No. That's the whole point of the game. That's the whole point of the game. To be mad
But
at
you
each
can't
other.
get everybody's answer in.
But it's funny. Shut up, Rich. I know you. This is a hot take, Here's my hot take to your hot take. You can't be a shitty person and be a good Flash. Flash wouldn't do those things.
Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll
I
give
You
you.
won't
can't.
give me it. You won't give me it because it already belongs to me and the rest of the people who actually give a shit about Flash.
Okay, buddy.
See, I can't. I can't agree with Jordan.
I'm sorry.
Okay, buddy.
I can't agree with Jordan because number one, Josh and I like binge watched the entire Flash series. And two, I hate the way that Ezra Miller runs in the movies.
Well,
And three,
that I can get
wait,
behind.
He
wait,
runs like a fairy.
one
That
more thing. The line, I know sex exists, I've just never experienced it, absolutely takes me out. It is the worst line other than Kal-El no.
okay,
Okay.
okay. I can give you that. That part right there is a little fucked.
That line's up there with "He's right behind me," isn't it? And
I'm just saying that's just
uh,
how I feel, and I'm not saying that he doesn't have his faults. That's just I just enjoyed some of the things that he did better than I did any of the Great Gustin's Flash.
of course, that's fair.
All right, Kelsey, what you got loaded up next?
All right. Lin-Manuel Miranda is a great lyricist and musician, but he's oversaturated and overrated.
Who?
The guy who did Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Never seen it.
He's done the music for Encanto, for
Moana.
Moana,
He did
The Little
Hamilton.
Mermaid.
He did
Oh,
He
Little
did
Mermaid. I've seen. Rest of them, no.
he did Hamilton. He did In the Heights. He's a Broadway legend.
Oh,
But
that's why I don't know him.
that better fucking be a hot take. Better.
You mean better be a bait?
I mean bait. Yeah, that better be fucking bait. My bad. I'm just my
That's
brain's
what I thought.
fucking.
That's what I thought you meant. I was about to be very
I think
confused.
she's mind fucking us. I think it's a hot take.
Ridge.
Hot take.
Mikey, are you the only one that haven't said anything?
Yeah, I'm going to say that this is actually a hot take on the grounds that, from a neutral point of view, regardless of love, regardless of love for Lin-Manuel, I could understand how someone would see him as being oversaturated. So I'm going to say this is Kelsey's hot take.
Okay. This is one where I'm kind of rage baiting a little bit. However, it's partly true. Only because you can tell when a song is written by him.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That is where I'm leaning towards the hot take, is because everything he writes, and not everything, but you can tell it's made by him. He's
Right.
got pretty much the same style, the same rhythm in almost everything he writes. However, the Moana 2 movie, oh, they needed him so bad,
Oh yeah.
and they flopped.
Oh yeah.
I think he's great for like Disney and stuff and Broadway and all that, but like I think they bullied him too hard because we really desperately needed him on Moana.
Just the fact that they didn't even go back to him for Moana 2 just fucking blows my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one.
Because
So, was there a reason why he wasn't, other than because he was doing the Mufasa movie?
I haven't heard a reason.
That's
Well,
the only reason why I can imagine that he wouldn't have done the movie, is because they had him also doing Mufasa.
from what I heard is that they weren't actually like planning on making Moana 2, like it was just going to be a Disney series.
Right.
But I don't understand like what changed at the end there, but he wasn't invited to be on it because it was going to be like a series, but then they changed it, and of course, with him doing a different movie, he didn't have time to write, sing, whatever for Moana.
Okay.
What the fuck? The people that they got to write the music for it is people from
Yeah.
TikTok who wrote a fucking unofficial musical for Bridgerton.
Yep.
Yeah. That season. Okay, listen, I've seen Bridgerton, and season 3 flopped bad, and I could tell that their music was just absolutely awful. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
And
On a side note, has anybody listened to Warriors album?
no, but I've heard it's great.
Oh man. You know that Kim Dracula's in it?
Kim Dracula's in it?
Kim Dracula is on the Warriors album. And boy howdy, if they ever adapt it into an actual stage musical, not necessarily that you have to have Kim to do it,
Wait, they
but
did?
if you
Did they not?
no, they actually have it on stage.
Oh, okay.
It's just the album itself.
Oh, okay.
But if you have Kim Dracula on that stage doing that, well, not even if you adapt it and you do it the same way that Kim was doing it, oh my God, thank God y'all finally put metal like that on Broadway. That would be phenomenal.
Oh, word. All right, Caleb, I believe it's your turn.
All right. Yeah, just a second. I'm struggling to talk. What was it again?
You said this one was gonna be good, so you better remember it.
Yeah. Dude, I'm tired. It's been a long
Must
week.
not been that good.
It was good. I know it was good. Oh, okay. This one's good because it's going to make probably everybody in this fucking thing mad. All musical movies are overrated. Period.
Knowing your dumbass, it would be a hot take.
Jeez,
Sounds
later.
sounds like Jordan's falling for the bait.
Oh no, could you repeat it one more time just for Jordan's sake?
All musicals are overrated.
He's gonna beat my ass by proxy. He's gonna be like, you know what? Fuck it, Mikey's the closest. Come here.
Instead of the Hat Man, you're gonna see the Fat Man standing in your corner of the night.
Question: have you seen any musical movies?
I don't
And not
answer
High School
questions.
Musical. Do what?
No questions will be answered here. You have to make your decision now.
I guess that honestly, that makes this a good question. Is it bait or not? He will not expound further. Guess. That's good. That's good for the game. I'll give him that. As for my answer, I'm gonna say I think this is bait. I think it's bait.
I know, I think this is Caleb's hot take. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be real with you.
As much as I want to say it's his hot take, I also want to say just because of how many people are going to argue with him over this and question everything, that's bait. Because it's baiting us to want to argue over this.
I assume, Jordan, you made your pick?
Yeah. I think it's your hot take.
Well, you all fell for the bait because not all of them are horrible.
Called it.
I knew you were a little
However,
fruity. It's
only
okay.
most of them suck.
Bro,
there's a very select few that I enjoy, and it's like 2 or 3.
Okay,
I don't really care
Okay,
for musicals.
name them. I want you to name them.
Okay, Sweeney Todd.
Oh my God!
I enjoyed that one.
Hold on.
I
I'm curious
enjoy.
on
You
what
can.
all
Hey,
you've seen.
I enjoyed that one. Phantom of the Opera is one of my favorite ones because that was the first one I ever watched that I enjoyed. And as for my third musical, it's a tough one. It's a really tough one. I'm trying to think of out of the two, which one I would watch more.
I'm
Just pick the
crying.
top 4.
Crying.
Just these your 4.
So there's only 2 or 3 of them I really cared about.
Well, what's your last one before I start cooking?
Before you start cooking, just go ahead and start cooking then.
First of all, Sweeney fucking Todd. You put Sweeney Todd over the likes of Grease. And,
Can
I
I
hated
interrupt
Grease.
again?
I didn't care. I don't care for the '50s musical style.
and
That's
Mamma
just not for
Mia.
me.
Well, Ridge, what
I
are you
hated
going
that movie too.
before I keep going, Ridge? What do you gotta say?
What musicals have you seen, Caleb?
I've seen Sweeney Todd. I've seen Phantom of the Opera. I've seen. Oh God, there's one of them. What's it called?
Cats.
Hang on. Let me see if I can find the picture of it.
Well, if it's not
I don't remember the name of
gothic,
it.
then
Now,
you ain't liking it,
Now,
right?
Cats fucking sucks, but
No, Cats
not
trash.
the Broadway musical
I
of
didn't get
Cats
through
is.
30 seconds of
So
that
it's
shit
just
before I didn't.
you.
I was like, this is trash.
If you
If it's
can't
not gothic, you're not for it.
if you can't name 5 musicals that you've seen off the top of your head, you have no talk in this discussion.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but it's free country, Jordan. So suck it.
Well, okay. Now I can understand though enjoying Sweeney Todd because yeah, same fam. I did too. You're not the only one that enjoyed it. But if you're saying mostly of them that you don't like, but
Oh,
you can only name the ones that you really liked. So what
well,
movies did you see that you didn't like though? Because I'm curious because apparently there's a larger plethora of them, but you only named off the ones that you liked.
I like those, but I also liked Wonka. Wonka was a really good one.
Okay, Wonka's great. Wonka's great.
Wonka's a good one. Footloose is okay. I
That's
like
not a
it.
musical. That's not a musical.
You
Is it
can
not?
say Wonka ain't a musical then. What the fuck you mean?
Yeah.
Footloose isn't a musical.
It fits in the same damn category, my man.
They're not singing in the movie. They're just dancing. It's a dance movie. It's like saying
Well, then
Step
all
Up is a
movies are
musical.
musicals because there's music in them.
No, a musical is people singing.
Well, The Sound of Music, obviously, you know.
They're singing in that. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, that one. Les Miserables was real good.
Oh God.
Les Miserables, not Les Miserables.
However you say it, I don't give a fuck how you say it.
But
I
you
guess the
enjoyed it.
inequality that the French people. I guess the
Caleb, you're
inequality that
killing
the
me over
French
here.
suffer.
I don't really care for the French.
Yes, but the heart-wrenching inequality and drama of the story means nothing to you.
You enjoyed their musical, but you don't enjoy them
No, because
and
they.
their musical on their history. What? Okay, can we move on now?
No, because that's the point of this game. How do you? Uh,
You see why I want to move on? We're sitting here having strokes over this.
I just think the disrespect for Greece. I think the disrespect for Rock of Ages.
Has he seen Grease?
Yes, and I didn't care for it. I never have liked it.
Okay, I can understand that because I got force fed it through a fucking tube just about it felt like because how much my mother enjoys that musical.
If you get and now if you're forced to watch something, I can understand you not liking
I
it.
wasn't forced to watch it, but just how much it played whenever I
Right,
was a
right,
child.
right. That's what I'm saying. I can get that part, but I think
The
that's
only
nuts.
like the only like greaser type style movies that I cared for at all that I actually enjoyed was The Outsiders. I've never ever liked any 50s style movie really.
But we're just talking about musicals.
Yeah, I know. So
You know,
whenever
this
when I
is
sat down to watch Grease, I wasn't enthused about it, and by the end of it, I was ready to blow my brains out.
I think I'm
You know,
ready for a cigarette, and I ain't smoked in I don't
this
know
is
how
the
long.
Family Guy. This is the Family Guy Godfather argument.
Just all right. Whoever's next, just go for fuck's sake.
Hang on. Josh has to leave for work, but he wants to just say one.
Oh God, he's gonna rage bait me. I feel it.
Oh, here we go. This is gonna be good.
Scream should have been a musical. It would at least made it a little bit interesting.
Rage bait, motherfucker.
Hot take.
I knew it was a hot take. He's just doing it to fuck around with me. Everybody who's listening, Josh, my brother-in-law, likes to say shit just to piss me off. He thinks
No.
it's fun. Jesus Christ. All right, who's fucking next, Ridge?
No, we need to discuss that.
No,
Oh,
no, we don't.
No, the fuck we
are
don't.
we okay? Like, I don't want this to ruin our friendship
None of
here.
this is gonna.
How far
None of
deep
this
we're
is gonna.
cutting here.
None of this shit's gonna. None of this shit's gonna ruin any real relationships. This is
You
just.
never know. It's like playing Uno, okay?
If anybody lets this like personally like ruin some shit between them, then that's their fault. But I'm not taking anything seriously.
I'm going
Next
to need a
episode,
shot of
folks.
Jameson and a cigarette after this.
Next episode, folks. Far side of the pods. Hear me out, cake.
No, definitely not doing that.
All right, Ridge. I think it's your turn, brother.
Okay, I'm going to piss people off
Good. That's the point.
with grave intentions behind this. Okay,
Mm.
like I don't know if we're gonna be okay or not.
This is said with malice. Got it.
Heath Ledger's Joker is not the best Joker.
I feel like that's rage bait, but there's also a part of me that could believe that it's also a hot take. But knowing you, I believe it's rage bait. Somebody else say something. Fuck.
Okay, I'll go. You know, again, if I take a moment to be like, if I take a moment to think about it rationally, I could see how that would be a hot take over rage bait, because in my mind, Heath Ledger's Joker is a very specific interpretation of the Joker. There are other Jokers that do better. There are other actors who have played Joker that do different interpretations of Joker that one might think is a better representation. So, with that said, you know, I'm gonna say that this is not rage bait. This is a hot take.
I'm saying rage bait.
KO, what you got to say, brother?
I'm gonna say hot take.
All right.
This is a hot take.
Okay.
Brother.
Now,
I had a feeling.
I just want to know, who do you think is the best Joker? Like, I just want to know.
Watch him
Again,
say
this
some
is
shit
gonna
like
hurt
Jared
people.
Leto.
No, God no. All right, if anybody, if
That'd
y'all
have been
know me,
rage bait.
y'all know damn well that ain't.
I know who it
Rage
is.
bait.
Who?
Jack Nicholson.
No.
Really?
Yep.
Mark
You
Hamill.
ready?
Mark Hamill.
You're gonna say Cesar
Bingo.
Romero?
Oh, okay.
It's Mark Hamill,
Okay,
right?
Mark Hamill. All right.
Yep.
All right.
I
I
Oh,
see it
agree.
okay.
now.
I
I
didn't
didn't
I
know we
agree.
were talking about cartoon versions,
He,
bro.
he didn't say live action Joker. He just said the
I
Joker in
just
general.
said Joker in general. I didn't narrow
Well,
it
in that
down.
case,
Yeah,
might as
I
well
didn't I
just say
wasn't
David
thinking
Howard
about Mark
Thornton.
Hamill as the Joker.
Now, if I would have just said the live action adaptations,
Yeah, that's got to be like, he's the best live action Joker. But when it comes to animation, it's 100% Mark Hamill. That was the only thing that was sticking in my mind and why it would be a hot take.
To me,
What's his name?
overall,
What's his name? That young guy that
Right.
did
Gotham. You talking about Cameron Monaghan?
yes. Yes. He was pretty good.
yeah, he was good. But
They should have I wish they would have done more with him though.
You know, to follow along with this, I'm gonna say something that might piss somebody off, but I don't know if it will. And I'm not using this as my turn. I'm just doing this to build on top of Ridge's thing. And this is just a flat out hot take. I'm gonna straight up say that. Um, I don't think Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is nowhere near as good as some people believe. Because my main selling point is I don't think there's points of being the Joker. And I'm not going to say what apparently happens in the second one along with this because I'm not even going to acknowledge that bullshit. But
Ooh.
if you're going to be playing the Joker, there's no sense of having a Joker in a movie without a Batman. And I think that's so fucking stupid. I mean, like, I get like it being like a pre-story and there being little Batman, but there not being any discussion of a Batman. Yeah, they brought up Bruce Wayne as a little kid in the first Joker movie, but other than that, I think it's fucking pointless. And I feel like it's overacted too. But
well,
that's just my thought on it. I mean, I'm not saying that the first Joker movie isn't good because it is good. I just think it's overacted. All right, Mikey, it's back to you, brother.
Here's my statement. Spider-Man is a menace.
Hmm.
I want pictures of Spider-Man.
okay, Triple J.
That's what I'm saying.
You gotta be rage baiting, brother.
That's J.
Parker.
Jonah Jameson right there.
But honestly, based on what version of Spider-Man you're talking about, you could be hot
I
taking.
did not I did not specify a kind of Spider-Man. I said Spider-Man is a menace.
You're rage baiting. I can feel your cheeky ass
Hot
smile
take.
through the fucking chat.
I love
Is
that.
there,
Jordan.
does anybody else want to answer before I before I give it away?
I said hot take.
No, that's rage bait. I thought it would be funny. I will say that as far as like public infrastructures go, Spider-Man does his due diligence, like his webs are biodegradable, but holy shit, the fights he gets into with his villains, God forbid. No wonder taxes are crazy.
That's with any superhero.
Like, no wonder people hate soups, dude. Like, you are making my tax bracket go higher.
I mean, fuck, look at fucking Man of Steel. How many fucking people they killed and how many buildings they destroyed by just fucking fighting.
But yeah, no, that was rage bait. I figured we'd have a quick, easy one to make us all go, Mikey, you're being an ass, and have us all chill out and laugh at it. Cool the heat just a little bit.
Just a
Take it
little.
off, let it simmer, put it back on.
Take a break from the anger.
Yeah, let everybody go, Mikey, you're stupid.
All right.
All right, who's next?
I think I've got one.
All right.
Michael Keaton's Batman is not even in the top 3 best Batman live action ever.
I know this is a hot take with you.
All right, who
It
else is?
might be a hot take, but I disagree.
I highly disagree.
Yeah, I'm gonna say hot take for that one, big dog.
Ridge.
My issue is that we've had this conversation before, and I can't remember it fully to save my life. Because I know who your number one Batman is. I just can't remember the others. So I'm going for my best interest to say that's a hot take.
It is a hot take. Um,
Atrociously so.
and I'm gonna say something that might piss y'all off even more. Val Kilmer's Batman is better than fucking Michael Keaton's Batman.
Well, yeah, I agree with that.
Then who the fuck else are you putting above him?
Who else am I putting above who?
If you agree that Val Kilmer's Batman is better than better than Michael Keaton's Batman, then who do you got above? Who else you got above him?
Not very many.
Okay, not very many, but who?
Well, obviously Kevin Conroy's.
I
Um,
said live action, not
oh
animation.
well, live action. Who else am I putting above him? I would put Christian Bale's above him
Yeah.
just slightly,
Okay.
but
Agree.
Robert Pattinson's like my fourth favorite.
That is that above or below him?
Below.
That's ass.
No, Robert Pattinson is a good Batman, but we haven't seen him as full on Batman yet.
That I can understand, but
And until we see that, I can't say that he's a good Batman.
and
And I certainly watched the first movie and I enjoyed it, but I just
I'm
honestly, it's meh. You know, it's not my favorite Batman movie.
the Batman is not meh.
Yeah, it's meh.
You're meh, Caleb. You're meh.
If
I
you're
wouldn't watch the same movie y'all did.
if you're saying that movie is meh compared to Batman 1989, you're fucking crazy. And
Well,
I will say most of the reason why I don't like Michael Keaton's Batman as much as most people do is because I feel like the original Batman is hard to watch because of the technology that we have now. And that I understand isn't the most plausible argument because I didn't grow up watching that like most people did.
you come from the generation after me, basically.
But other than that, I think the only thing that Michael Keaton was good at was being Bruce Wayne.
No, I think his Bruce Wayne was actually not that good. That's the only thing I disagree with. Also, I think that his Bruce Wayne wasn't that good. I think his Batman was good for especially the times. It was perfect, but for the person who does the best Bruce Wayne and Batman, 100% Val Kilmer.
That I can agree on.
Yeah, that's why Val Kilmer's my favorite Batman. Michael Keaton's my second favorite Batman.
The
My
best
third favorite Batman is Christian Bale. My fourth one is Robert Pattinson, and my fifth one would probably be Adam West because anything's better than George fucking Clooney.
What the fuck?
Yeah, George Clooney is
the
the
fact
worst Batman to ever exist.
the fact that you're putting all those above Ben Affleck is
That's
nuts.
what I was curious about. Where the fuck's that
You
one
don't
fall
want my
at
hot
then?
take then.
Dude,
Uh-oh.
where's the hot take? When
I think Ben Affleck is a fantastic Batman. I don't like his Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne is the perfect Bruce Wayne.
I don't really. He doesn't convince me enough.
Why? Because of Martha?
Well, I mean that's part of it, but that was trashy writing at the same
If you,
time. But I mean,
I'm gonna say
I
this:
just I don't
if you
I
don't
don't
get the
look at
Martha
I don't
scene,
look.
you don't get the whole point of the story. Or the
No, I
whole
get the
point of the
whole point of
fallout.
the story. I just think it's stupid.
Okay, so Superman's mom name
I
being
think that
Martha.
they should have had a better reason. I think they could have picked a better Lex Luthor.
No, that's
There's a lot of
understandable.
things. That movie was just a train wreck
But
in a lot of
I'm
ways.
talking about Batman specifically.
Yeah, Batman specifically, I don't care for his Bruce Wayne. I think it's a little. It doesn't convince me enough. Like he's great as Batman. Don't get me wrong. It's just when I think of Batman, you got to play both roles right.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up one scene for you, and this is a Bruce Wayne scene. The scene where they're at Lex Luthor's party, and he goes down to the bottom of the steps or whatever to try to
Mhm.
keep an eye out on something, and somebody catches him doing it, and he says, "Oh, I've had a few too many drinks. I'm just looking for the bathroom." That kind of shit is the most like spot on shit Bruce Wayne would do.
I could have hired a monkey to say the same thing. That's real. There's nothing special about saying that. I'm sorry. I'm not convinced.
That monkey line has got to be the dumbest thing you've ever said.
I'm
Oh
sorry, but
my
I watched the
god.
same movie you did, and I still think it was a train wreck.
The movie is not a train wreck either.
Yeah,
There's
it was
so
kind
much
of a
blood
train
on
wreck.
this hill.
We
Look,
sure
man.
there ain't gonna be a fight over this shit?
Hey, you know what? The last thing I'm gonna say about this, your best Batman of all time, Kevin Conroy, said that Ben Affleck's Batman and Bruce Wayne is the most accurate ever.
Just because he played the cartoon version doesn't mean he knew what the fuck he was talking about when it came to live action.
This guy. All right, Caleb. All right, who's next?
Now, look, I may have been
Get up,
exaggerating my
kiss
hatred
later off
towards
too much.
Affleck's Bruce Wayne, but it's just to me, it wasn't. I just wasn't all that overly lush about watching him play it.
You bit the hand, Pikachu. You bit the hand.
This. Who's next? For fuck's sake.
uh,
Kelsey, go. I picked Kelsey.
CM Punk has
Oh.
gotten too many chances at being at the top.
I will say that that's a hot take.
It could be a hot take, but also at the same time, it's hard to say. It really is, because you have to kind of think he did kind of have a point when he left the company the way he did. I'm gonna say it's a hot take. I think that'd be one of your hot takes.
I'm going to also say that this is a hot take. I can definitely see where someone might be coming from on this, especially considering all the new talent. And it can definitely be frustrating for a lot of superstars who have definitely worked their way to where they are, knowing Punk's history at the very least of being a superstar, knowing the man's already had his shot, numerous shots, and then he just walks back in and he's main event. That's definitely got to be frustrating. I can see how that would be a hot take easily.
Rich.
Oh. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say it's a hot take.
You would be correct.
Mm.
Because I don't know many of you who would be allowed to come back to work after blowing up so many times off script. Like, if it was part of the script of like WWE and he's made to be heel, I think honestly he's too old to be heel at this point.
He's not heel.
Oh, he's not anymore?
He hasn't been heel the whole time he's been in WWE since he came back.
Okay. Well, either way, he's too old to be pitching fits and getting angry at little things, and he has to realize that this is one of the best jobs that anybody could ever get. Like, you don't just get this job. So
I think we can all agree it is under better management is probably a
Now-
big reason why he came back in the first place.
Now, if you are mentioning the shit that happened to AEW backstage,
no, I'm just like in general, like him doing interviews, just pissing off the normal people. Not
now
I don't know.
now him and WWE now is, I think, clear. Like with what you're saying, because they trust him enough to know what's best for his storyline, and they pretty much give him that right. Yes, he still follows the script, but he also puts in what he thinks is best, and they fully trust him with that because of his tenure. But
Well, also, if you think about it, they did one time give him an open mic and said, "Say whatever you want, air your grievances."
actually, the pipe bomb was supposed to be a scripted thing for him to say, but he didn't do it. Like, because it definitely wasn't in the script for him targeting Vince McMahon and John Cena and them. Now, yes, has he mended bridges since then? Yes. And has he changed as a person since then? Yes, I do 100% believe that. But I do agree that he is pushed more often than he should be just because he's CM Punk. But other than that, yeah.
Well, I mean, was he wrong about Vince?
Yeah, I do. I think so.
No. I think he was not wrong about Vince at all.
No.
I think
Yes, I do believe he was not wrong about Vince.
okay, I was about to say, I was like, bro, we're about to have a serious like discussion now
No,
about this.
he was not wrong about Vince at all. The only
I
person
thought we were going to have to rehash the whole Mr. McMahon documentary.
the only person I thought he was wrong about was Triple H, and I think what proves that is they are good now.
You know what I think it was? I think it was more of he thought that Triple H was cool with it, but Triple H was more like, hey, look, dude, I'm just working here.
Right.
I'm just trying to follow what the boss's orders are. But Punk was like, nah, I'm not standing for this shit. And I don't blame Punk for leaving the way he did at all.
No, I don't either. But
And now maybe he said some things off the wall about John Cena that some of it was true and some of it maybe it just seemed like that was how he took it instead of how it actually was.
no, I know him and John
The
mended
thing,
bridges because he's
Yeah.
said how much he loves John. So
Oh yeah, they're fine, but like him and Triple H being buddies and like doing the point at each other is like that just goes to show you that Paul was like, dude, look, I'm just trying to like survive in this place, okay? I'm just doing what I'm
I
told,
think
and he's my father-in-law.
Kelsey, what are you saying?
I was just saying. I think the thing for me is that if he hated it so much when Vince was there, I don't understand why he kept coming back.
Well, there was the only time that he was legitimately thinking about leaving was the night he won the World WWE Championship at Money in the Bank. But he legitimately didn't have another contract signed.
Right.
He legitimately, his contract literally went out after that show, and him leaving through the crowd, blowing the kiss of Vince McMahon and everything, was the exact thing, like was real. So I mean, I 100% get where you're coming from though.
All right.
All right,
Who's next?
Caleb, I think.
Let's see here. What's a good one that I'll. We can go with that. All right. Art the Clown is a better slasher than Michael Myers.
That's rage bait from hell. Who else is going to join in on that?
I think this is a hot take, but I don't agree with it.
I think I'm with Kelsey on the. Oh, go ahead, Ridge. Go ahead. You go first. You spoke first.
Nope, you go. You got it.
All right. I was going to say I agree with Kelsey. I think this is a hot take, but I do not agree with this at all.
I 100% think it's a hot take.
Damn. Y'all saw right through that shit.
You genuinely believe that shit?
Now I'll say this. I'm going to say this. I love the Michael Myers. I love Halloween. I enjoy the Terrifier more.
Okay, I get if you enjoy the movies more, but
And I
we're
feel
talking
like
about the
I
specific
feel like
slasher.
Art is more creative about his slashing.
I mean,
That's what sets it for me that's what sets the tone for me in a slasher is how creative they get with the kills and just how intense can they make it. And Art the Clown makes it more intense in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong. Michael Myers has that just straight, that creep factor, that silence, that kind of like permeating horror within, but you just don't know what Art the fucking Clown's gonna do. You never know what that motherfucker's gonna do. And he's very, very, very creative, and he's a very fun slasher to watch.
Now, you like saying the creative, and he's a fun slasher to watch, and he's unpredictable and everything. I can fully get behind that, but not even as a legit horror fan or just a fan of the genre in general, I cannot get behind him being better than Michael Myers. Now, I'm not saying that he's not better in certain points, like you said, creativeness and unpredictability, but we're talking about the slasher. I mean, yeah, the slasher technically is Anthony Perkins, Psycho,
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. No, Anthony Perkins was a
but
slasher, was the slasher.
Norman Bates, but but
I mean, I know you're going to agree with me when I say this. I don't know how you're going to see when I say this, but I like Halloween, but Ghostface I still think is top tier slasher, probably number one.
I think that's more arguable than Art the Clown.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I can't make it easy now, can I? And that's how I feel about Art the Clown as a slasher. He's very like as when it comes to the main villain of it's just for some reason his character works so well.
I guess that's
And he's
just,
only got three movies, standalone movies for himself.
I just don't think that he could be better than Michael Myers. I don't even think even in the fourth movie if something crazy happens or whatever, I still don't think he's better than Michael Myers. But that's just me, and I respect that. Respect that opinion because that is
Because I'm not
that's
throwing shade at
understandable.
Michael Myers. I'm not saying like he sucks or anything. I'm just for me on a personal level, I like Art the Clown better.
All right. Anybody else got anything else to say on that topic?
Not that one. I don't.
Okay.
Jordan, how are we on time?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
So who wants to go next? Who is next?
I think
Ridge, I believe it's your turn.
it's Ridge.
Or
Okay. Has anyone in the group seen the Netflix animated show Arcane?
Oh
I
my
have.
god, bro!
Not yet.
My parents love that fucking show, and I've
All
been trying to
right.
get a chance to watch it, but I don't have
Here we
Netflix.
go. Time to piss some people off. You ready? I hope so. Arcane ain't as great as what everyone's making out to be, and Powder's probably the worst villain I've ever fucking seen in my life.
Well, I mean, I don't think you want to just tell us that it's a hot take without telling us it's a hot take.
I've never seen it, so I'm gonna say this is a hot take.
I have seen it. I have seen it, and I'm going to say that this is a hot take.
Yeah, I think so too.
Though I disagree with the first part of the statement. I kind of understand from.
I mean,
what
I
I've
disagree with the statement as a
what I've-
whole because I feel like to have this opinion, you're viewing it through a really narrow lens.
Oh yeah,
I
my
mean,
parents.
well, I said hot take. I said hot take. I meant to say
this.
bait. I meant to say bait. I'm sorry. I think it's bait. I feel like to have this opinion, you'd be looking at the show through a very narrow lens and not really paying attention to what the show has progressed to up to the point. And another final thing I want to pick at on this comment is Powder is not a villain. Powder was a child. Jinx is the one being branded as a villain.
I don't know anything
That's
about
all
the
I'm.
show, so I'm gonna say it's a hot take.
It's definitely a hot take.
I am so sorry, Mom and Dad. If you ever listen to this episode, please just ignore that you ever heard him say that.
It's
Because I know
definitely
that you guys love that show, and the main reason they got into that show was because I started them off with Rising of the Shield Hero, and they actually really enjoyed that one. And then they went, and then they found Arcane all on their own. It was like, "Hey, son, have you seen this one?" I'm like, "Oh, what is it about?" They showed me like a commercial for it. I was like, "Oh, so well, I guess y'all ended up really liking that Shield Hero show." So I apologize, Mom and Dad, if you are now offended.
All right.
But
I had to offend people.
All right. Are y'all cool with doing one more round, or we done with this?
Yeah. I got one more in the chamber.
All right. Yeah. Let's do one
All
more
right,
round.
Kelsey.
Oh,
Kelsey, since you got one in the chamber,
nobody
it's
else
on
want to
you.
go? Oh, okay. Oh, damn. Just gonna put me on the spot. Okay. Whew. All right.
You said you got one. You better kill
Well,
us. You better kill me in
we were
one
still
shot.
going in order. I didn't know if we were still going in order or not.
Nope, fuck the order.
Okay.
Fuck the order. You got one more coup de grace.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is one of the most personal and painful MCU movies of all time.
That's a hot take. It's not even that hot. This a hot take though.
yeah, it's a hot take.
This is a certified hood classic. That's relatable as shit. That to me, that's relatable as shit. Like I agree with that. I think that's a hot take.
I should have said it is the best MCU movie instead of most personal and painful.
Oh,
It's definitely
That
not the
wouldn't have
fucking
gotten it.
best.
Okay, I got one to follow Kelsey up since we're talking superheroes. How about that?
Go ahead.
Kelsey, let me alley oop off you real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
The moment you start using a multiverse as a writing tool, you are nearing the end, if not already at the end of original ideas.
Unfortunately, that's definitely a hot take.
Yeah. I could agree.
I agree, but I feel like you could use it, but not for very long. You might be able to like throw a mention of it in. But if you're not writing I believe you're probably right, actually. Yeah.
Bridge, what do you think?
I could dive into this way too fucking deep because my thought is that obviously it is a hot take, but at the same time, I mean, I think we'd all not be saying this if it was still, or the whole time it was Kevin Feige over this shit. Because I think the whole thing that fucked it over was that Kevin Feige didn't have creative control for over half of this space. So it just fell flat as hell.
So this is a hot take from me, and something I want to clarify, at least on my personal opinion, is that using a multiverse or the notion of a multiverse is not a bad writing tool in any capacity. I don't think it's a bad writing tool. I think as far as consumers in terms of media, that as we are tired of the notion of a multiverse. And it's easy when stories that come from something like that take time to produce to get tired of it, because after so long it feels unoriginal, and unoriginal feels lazy. This is the era of instant gratification, instant satisfaction. So if it's not always new, spicy, or anything else, we can find ourselves becoming kind of like, nah, this sucks after a time, even if it doesn't suck. People used to think the same thing of time travel and reality. Like they used to like time travel as a writing tool. People felt the exact same way about it. Like it's overdone, it's lazy, it's boring, nobody likes it anymore. Writing tools like that can often be treated like a fad. That's my opinion.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's just people get tired of shit fast.
I also feel like as soon as Marvel, and it might just be on my end, but as soon as Marvel said, "Hey, we're doing the multiverse," everybody else all of a sudden said, "Hey, I got a brilliant idea. We should jump in with a story on a movie or a
I mean,
show."
I would say you're absolutely right about that, Ridge. That's capitalism for you.
The
Point
the
blank,
only
period. It's all a competition. You
the
got to
only
keep up.
one I will give the excuse for, just because of what I've heard, not because I've watched it, is Rick and Morty. Because as far as I know, they did it first with shows. But other than that, as soon as Marvel started doing that, man, I heard that DC was starting to do it. And I mean, they technically did whenever we got the Flash, you know.
DC
So
DC's got got a bigger multiverse than
I think
Marvel would do. So
technically, actually, I think technically, actually, Doctor Who has multiversal.
I liked Doctor Who for a while, and that is a very broad topic. It's not something I'm sensitive about. I'm just saying that's a lot to cover, and we
It is.
definitely don't have the
Doctor
time for
Who's
that.
been going on since what, 1960 something?
Yeah, like that's a very, very long series. Like
Yes.
there's way too much to cover in that.
all
Yes.
right.
okay,
It's
so but
it's
what I
fallen
mean
short
too
lately.
is it didn't start getting to the point of, oh boy, another multiverse thing, until Marvel decided that they was going to do multiverse for this phase, you know? And then all of a
Yeah,
sudden, one after the other, everyone was doing something multiversal.
but that's the thing with the fad, right? Like fads, memes, anything. The moment it becomes super mainstream is also the time it starts fading out. There's always something new coming. Everything has to keep up. Nothing slows down. Nothing waits. That's a problem, I think. It's we can't appreciate what's good with everything constantly blurring around us. But you're absolutely right. By that time, they were like, "Hey, this is what we're doing because you guys like this." Everyone's like, "Oh, uh, yeah, that's dated now. It's hard to keep up."
All right. So y'all cool if I say one last one, then we'll be done.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm really about to pull some strings here. I feel like
All right. Good.
this could possibly be the most heated discussion of the night.
A good one to top it off with. All right.
Hulk Hogan is not a top 10 all-time wrestler.
Oh.
Hot take.
Oh.
I'd
I think
say,
that's a hot
Hot
take.
take.
I think it's a hot take.
Bridge, what do you think?
It's a hot take, but I can
hot take.
definitely see how people. I can definitely see people out there going straight for the throat on that one.
Yeah, it's a hot take. There's no sugarcoating this shit for me. Hulk Hogan is a top 10 wrestler of all time. I I don't even think that there is a discussion to me. I mean, yeah, NWO, WCW run, whatever. But other than that, Hulk Hogan's a one-trick pony. I'm sorry, but he's not in my top 10. Honestly, he might not even be in my top 15.
I am never watching WCW around you.
I'm not saying that he's not good. I'm just saying I don't think he's as good as people think he is or say
I
he
think he's
is.
better than you're making him out to be.
Ain't no way.
Oh yeah, because you saying not even
Uh,
in the top 15 is just crazy.
It's not
he
crazy.
he's
Yeah, that's
not my
crazy.
top 15. He's definitely not my top 15 either. So
Well, y'all do like
I
some
can
whack ass
see
wrestlers.
where he's coming from. So
Whack ass wrestlers. Name a wrestler that's whack ass.
Oh, a wrestler that's whack ass. Okay.
And not just
You
based off
want
what they're doing
you
right
want a
now.
really good whack ass one? Nia Jax.
I don't. I'm not. I put Hulk Hogan over Nia Jax. I don't like Nia Jax.
Yeah, I think now don't get me wrong. Lately, she's impressed me more because she seems less lazy in the ring.
She's also a
I'm
one-trick
surprised how
pony.
lazy she's been the whole rest of the time.
But you're saying you brought up people that like you said we like whack ass rappers, not rappers but wrestlers. Name some you think that we like that you think is whack. And I'm not talking about what they're doing right now. I'm not talking about what they did last year. I'm talking about all time.
Okay, let's see here. Who's a really good whack ass that you like?
You haven't think too hard.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to think of one that you like that I don't like.
Again, you're thinking too
Okay.
hard on this.
So, although I love Dolph Ziggler, when he first started in the WWE, he was whack as fuck.
I wouldn't say whack as fuck, but I don't think. I mean, it took him a while to get his feeding.
Yeah, I
Though I am good.
I like him now, but then he wasn't impressive, and I know he's a favorite of a lot of people. It's just like Matt Hardy.
Hey
I mean, Matt
yo,
Hardy's he took off in his later. Yeah, he took off, and then he just kind of faded. And then,
we talking about all time.
oh yeah,
No, the heart TLC 2 is is better than anything Hogan's ever done.
huh?
TLC 2 between the Hardy brothers, the Dudley brothers, and Edge and Christian is better than anything that Hogan's done.
No,
1000%.
no,
What was better than Caleb?
Dolph Ziggler cashing in the Money in the Bank to get the belt from Alberto Del Rio is better than anything Hogan's ever done.
no. Now, don't get me wrong.
Okay,
In my
so name
opinion, it's
one
better
it
than
is.
most of the things that Hulk Hogan's done because behind the scenes, Hulk Hogan wasn't exactly the greatest person at first. Let's be real. But
At first.
yeah,
The only argument that I would take, and the only thing I could probably agree on more and more, I think about it is NWO, but that's it.
his
That is
TNA
the
run was awesome.
that is nowhere near better anything Matt Hardy or Dolph Ziggler's ever done. His
Thank you,
run,
ladies and gentlemen. This
Okay.
has been hot bait.
Well,
This is
guys,
not
that
no
was our
hot bait.
show.
well,
Y'all are just youngsters
Enjoy,
and wouldn't understand old school.
old school, bro. I've been watching wrestling longer than you.
join us next time for when we actually rip each other's throats out in person, unrated. Thank you.
No, no, just to remind everybody, this is all love. Yeah, we're all disagreeing with shit and agreeing with shit and all that jazz, but this is all love. This is the kind of shit we do on a regular basis. This is what we do in the podcast. This is why we're an unfiltered and unedited podcast, because we want y'all to genuinely know the people that we are.
And yes,
and
while I may say out some outlandish things, I really and honestly, wholeheartedly believe them.
We know that, Caleb. We know that.
And you're the only one that believes them.
And that's fine. And that's fine.
You're not
I don't
fooling us.
need to be validated by anyone else.
do
I
I
just
need to
how I
remove the bit in my warning intro where we say we understand that our opinions aren't facts? No, but on the
no,
real,
my opinion
folks,
is trash.
on the real, beloved listeners, this is all just for fun. Now there might actually be some tanned hides in chat right now between us, but that's just because we're very passionate people, and it's conversations like this, which is exactly why I do a warning intro every time to just let you know that whatever you're about to get into isn't going to be the prettiest sounding, and it's definitely not going to be PG. But it is all love here. We just talk shit to each other. We're family, literally and figuratively. So you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your siblings.
All right, guys. Well, like we all just said, this is all love. So don't think that we're not going to be a podcast by next week, because we really are.
Yeah,
But
we're all good, y'all.
but thank you guys for, if you made it this far. I hope you guys enjoyed our arguments and shit
And if you
talking.
didn't, we don't give a shit.
Yeah, if you didn't, oh well. Thanks for listening, anyways.
And thanks for the view, buddy. Might as well go ahead and hit that like and subscribe and that bell icon, you know.
And if anybody's got nothing else to say, that was the episode. We'll see you guys.